must-watch FIVB Men's Beach Volleyball World Championships, returning to the site of the first ever FIVB World Championships back in 1987. Now, first up, we've got an intriguing battle. Norwegian Kjemperud and Hoidalen up against the Portuguese team of Maia and Brehna. And two very evenly matched teams indeed. We're watching live here on Eurosport two of the most experienced sides on this World Tour. The Portuguese in the red, playing from left to right. Brehna there, hitting the ball, number 2 shirt, slightly taller of the two players. Norway not able to make the defence on this occasion. And Brehna's partner is Luis Miguel Barbosa Maia. Sounds like a boxer's name, doesn't it? But Maia punches well above his weight. There he is in the number 1 vest. He's actually the smallest beach volleyball player on the World Tour at just 1.80 metres, 5'9" tall, but he is a wicked hitter, a pocket dynamo. The Norwegians are going to have to watch themselves today. Well, Norway playing from right to left in blue. Vegard the Viking, Hoidalen distinctive with that blonde flowing hair sticking out of the bottom of his cap. Playing in the number 2 vest. In the number 1 vest, his partner Andres Kjemperud, 35 years old now. Kjemperud, very much the swan song of his career. They've both stated that their 2 goals for this season, World Championship medal and then qualification through to the Olympics, and many people feel that this will possibly be their last season. And the Olympics indeed will be the close to what has been a terrific beach volleyball career. The Norwegians have now been together since 1995, and they've stuck exclusively with each other as a team. They've only ever played apart when one or the other has been injured. Almost exactly the same stats for the Portuguese. Maia and Brehna now been together since 1994. Both the teams have won only once on the World Tour in their careers, and both of them winning tournaments back in 1998. But mixed fortunes this year for the Portuguese. They're currently ranked 18th on the tour. Their best finish 5th in Marseille this year. But they've really done nowhere near as well as they have in the past. Remember the Portuguese getting to the semi-finals in the 1996 Olympic Games, eventually walking away with the cruelest placing of all, 4th, losing out in that bronze medal playoff to Canadians Child and Heese. Going slightly better for the Vikings. They're ranked 10th at the moment, and they've managed a couple of finals this year, 1 satellite tournament and then 1 World Tour event. Actually getting to the final in Espino, which is the home beach for Maia and Brehna. And there he is, Luis Miguel Maia. As we said, a really small player, but such a huge jump on him. Contacts the ball at 3 metres and 13 in the air when he jumps off the sand. Really does have a powerful physique. But it's not his attacking that's impressive, it's the defence of Maia that can sometimes be the difference between teams. But no problems on that occasion for Vegard the Viking Hoidalen. Big swing from the 32-year-old, nice and deep onto the baseline, makes that very tough for defenders. Touch there from Hoidalen, very quick to acknowledge that. So the first set here on Copacabana Beach. We're in the round of 16. There's Corcovado Mountain with the famous statue of Christ the Redeemer on top of it. Of course, on the other side of the bay, the Sugarloaf Mountain with those cable cars going up and giving you a beautiful view across this Atlantic Bay. And the crowd's starting to pile in here. There are 3 Brazilian teams through to the final stages of this competition. The USA have also qualified 3 through to these stages, but things very different from 1987, because alongside USA and Brazil, we've got Portugal, Norway, Sweden, Australia, Puerto Rico, Spain, Germany, Switzerland and Canada, completing what is truly a multinational lineup. Now, after this game, Norway versus Portugal, Matt Chilton's going to be joining you for Germany. Diekman and Scherbflug up against home team Fred and Brajau of Brazil. And And I'll be back with you for the first of the quarter-finals this afternoon. Hoidalen and Metzger of the USA versus the winner of Prosser and Williams, Kobel and Heuscher. So 3 live games in a row from the Swatch FIVB World Beach Volleyball Championships coming up right here on Eurosport. That's a cracker to start with. It's so tough to split these two teams. They play a very similar game. Both have a front court blocker. Brehna for Portugal, just about to serve. And Hoidalen for Norway, just about to hit. They're both 6'4". And then their smaller defensive partners do the quick, fast jobs around the back of court. At the moment, quite a convincing lead in this first set. Best of 3 set matches. First 2 sets to 21 points. If it does go to a tiebreaker, and that's played to 15. And as usual, the Norwegian fans in. And behind the Brazilian fans, who are genuinely acknowledged as the world's leading beach volleyball fans, the Norwegians rate pretty highly. They enjoy the party atmosphere that you get on the world tour. And they're perfectly happy to travel. We've also got quite a few Swiss fans in the stadium. 2 of the Swiss teams qualifying through to this last 16. Kobel and Heuscher are here. They'll be playing Prosser and Williams, as I've already said. And the Lassiger brothers find themselves here as well, the 3rd seeded team from Switzerland. But the Norwegians in your picture in the blue shirts, Hoidalen and Kjemperud, they disposed of the 3rd Swiss pair. In a good match yesterday here on Eurosport. They put away Heyer and Egger, the finalists from the LA event. And that's a tough blow for Heyer and Egger, with Olympic qualification being at the forefront of most of the team's minds at the moment. Massive amount of points to be had here. 800 points for the winners. Usually only 300 points on offer for the normal World Tour events. So add to that a rather substantial cheque for $60,000, and this World Championships really is a major spectacle on the calendar for 2003. Maia restarts after the timeout with a nice line shot. So that's keeping the Portuguese there or thereabouts. Just 2 points now, the deficit. Norway leading 12-10. Again, the handling very, very tightly enforced by the referees. 2 touches called on Hoidalen. I personally like to see that. I don't like to see the players trying to handle the ball a long way from the net. It's very tough to complete the skill in the best of circumstances. To try and throw the ball to the net from the back line just isn't on. So the referee's really cracking down on that this year, and Hoidalen forced there to really concentrate on the set, and it's a cracker as well. The easy put away for Kjemperud down the line. Kjemperud, the quieter of these two, but really underrated as a player. He is a fantastic defender, and as most people will tell you, since the court was shortened by a metre, Kjemperud is one of the most feared servers now on the World Tour. It always used to be Hoidalen, but don't talk to Hoidalen about the size or the new size of the court. Used to be 9x18, 8x16. Hoidalen doesn't like it. Ever since the court was made smaller, his serving game fell to pieces. Luckily for he and partner Kjemperud, Kjemperud's adapted very well indeed to this new court size. Again, easy shot, and at the moment Maia seems a little lost in backcourt. Don't know why he skipped into the angle on that play. It was quite clearly going to be a pokey ball, an off-paced attack over the top. Well, some of the entertainments around the side of this massive World Championship stadium that they've got here on Copacabana Beach, right opposite the Copacabana Palace Hotel. Beautiful 5-star hotel built in a very Mediterranean style. It really does complete the setting at this tournament. The players don't have to come down through the hotel lobby and through the crowds to the stadium. They've actually constructed a special walkway that's about 30 metres up in the air, and the players walk across the walkway and into the stadium. The reason for that being that if you are a player, if you are recognised by the fans here, then you stand very little chance of getting back to the hotel with your shirt and your shorts intact, because the fans here want to get hold of any souvenir that they can. I've seen many players just walking through the lobby in their pants coming back from matches because the players have decided they want their kit, and that's it. The fans mob them. This really is just an amazing setting for a beach volleyball tournament. Maia picked up this time by Kjemperud, but he skips around easily in the back court to make the play. Oh, great block. Well, it's about time someone made something happen in this game. And Vegard Hoidalen quite happy to do so at the net. Lovely straight down block on the fierce spiking. And that's what the Norwegian crowd thought of that one. Hands up in unison. 16-13 now. 3-point cushion once again opened up by Norway. And again, 2 blocks in a row. Well, it so often happens that once a blocker feels they've got the number of the hitter, then they tend to be able to get it right almost straight away. And 1 or 2 blocks, maybe 3 in a row, isn't unusual. And the Portuguese deciding very wisely there just to take a timeout. They trail by 4 points now in this first set. The experienced Portuguese forced to just take a sit down for 30 seconds. They're not talking about anything. Chance to get some shade, take some water on, but really the reason they've stopped the match now is because of Hoidalen's blocking run. They just want to knock him off his rhythm. You can pretty much bet your bottom dollar that they'll be serving Maia when they come back out again. Well, it's great to see some of the scenic shots around the court here. Puts it into perspective exactly where the stadium is. You can quite clearly see the Kjemperud mountain with that statue on top of it from the beach stadium. You can see Sugarloaf Mountain as well. And then mile upon mile of beautiful, clean, white sand with the Atlantic breakers crashing in. And just up from there, the very original black and white checkered pattern of the main drag, the main promenade here at Copacabana, which is full to bursting with street traders and holidaymakers. It is a vibrant city, and that's a vibrant hit from Maia. Bangs that one cross court. That's what I like about Maia. He's just been blocked twice in a row by Hoidalen. And does he take the gas off? Does he, Henry? Just gets up there and absolutely larrups it past Hoidalen, and that's exactly what he needed to do. 3 points now, the gap. Good run needed from the Portuguese to get back in this set. Now the first chance comes to Maia, and this time shapes as if he's going to roll that line shot. Kjemperud goes for it, and as soon as he saw him move, just chips it back across court. That's lovely use from the little man. Norwegian fans deciding it's time to boost the team if they can, and that's a substantial part of the crowd there, about 50 fans in from Norway. Oh, nice response from Kjemperud. Oh, anything you can do. Look at that. Waits for Maia to move, and in an exact replica of the previous shot, he stitches up the Portuguese defender. Nice play from Jori-André Kjemperud. Jump float serve from Hoidalen as he makes his way to the net. They've tried Brehna on this one. Chicken wing from Kjemperud, not good enough. There's Brehna, 6'4", so again, not one of the biggest players on the tour, certainly not one of the bigger blockers. But he's very potent in attack, and in Maia he's got a superb setter, so he's always got the ball to hit. Oh, big block. And Hoidalen getting a taste of his own medicine. Long way off the net, and for some reason Brehna decided to stay in and block, and he'll be delighted that he did. Shoves it straight back into the chest of Hoidalen, and the gap is closed to just 1 point. 18-17, Norway lead. So change of ends on multiples of 7 to ensure no advantage. Maia continues his service run as Hoidalen flails one way over Brehna's block and out. And from 4 points adrift in this first set, the team in red from Portugal, Maia and Brehna, are back in it, and Norway this time forced to call the timeout. Kjemperud signalling to the ref and then marching away to that timeout area. The team's taking as much opportunity as they can to get into the shade and get some fluid in. Sports scientists will tell you that by the time you feel thirsty, you've already lost 2% of your body weight. And in the temperatures that we've got here today, in the high 30s with no wind to cool you down, you can expect to lose in the region of 5 to 10% of your body weight, and you have to replace that with fluids, because if you don't, you will be in serious trouble, and there really is no down. It's time for Brehna to turn the cap round. That's how he usually wears his baseball cap. Peek at the back to protect his neck from the sun. 19-18, Norway lead. 21 points the target, remember, in this first set. Bad error from Kjemperud. Now, what will Brehna do here? He's got a block on Hoidalen in the bank, so maybe just a serving court, sprint up to the net, and then work on Hoidalen. He's going to do exactly that. Good pick up, Brehna. Maia attacks with the pokey, not a good set from his partner, so Norway still in this rally. Oh, great line shot. 2 awful sets from Brehna after Maia scooted around and picked them up in back court. But Maia, the little man, with enough vision there to see Hoidalen back off the net, and a pinpoint accurate shot down the line. And finally, lets a little emotion out of the bag. Set point to Portugal. One of the other excellent sights that you get in Rio. The beach really is a fascinating place to be. Oh, terrible serve. Brehna knows it. When you've got your game working in front court, when you've got Maia making defensive touches left, right and centre in the back, the last thing you need to do is hit the ball over the baseline. 20 all. Set point gone. Nice finish, Hoidalen. And the Viking gets back in the game with a big shutout on Brehna. And I love it. These two teams really taking each other on. Kjemperud against Maia with their backcourt plays. Hoidalen and Brehna in front court, and now Norway have a set point. Oh, great cut. Very nice from Brehna. Kjemperud there committing the cardinal sin of moving while the ball is being hit. Trying to fake out his opponents, just getting his timing wrong. 21 all. No cap on the set. So same applies for all 3 sets. We'll play on until there's a 2-point advantage to one or other of the teams. Now, technically, the advantage with Norway, because they get the first chance to side out. They don't need to do it. Maia decides to crank a serve and misses. 22-21 for Norway. Their second set point. And this time Kjemperud gets the serve right. Pressure. Well played. Still alive for Portugal. But a swing now for Hoidalen for the set. Oh, he gets it wrong. Well, he tried to work the line, got really tight on himself, collapsed his shoulder down and lost all the height on his hit, but it's ending up hitting where the blocker and where the defender were, and he had acres of space cross court, as the Norwegian crowd were telling him. Oh, so easy from the stands and the commentary box. But when you're out there in a World Championships in this sort of heat, it's a different proposition. 22 all. Brehna to serve and make his way to the net. They've stuck with Hoidalen. Oh, great play. Wonderful vision from Carlos Brehna. Very clever stuff as the blocker broke cross court. You don't see a lot of that in the men's game. But saw there was space in the back of the court and just punched it back over the heads of the Norwegians. And set point wrested back by Portugal, 23-22. Brehna needs another good serve. This one's in. Oh, well up, look at that from Maia. Brilliant stuff, the setting once again. Poor from Brehna, but Maia's pick-up, classic, and that deserved the point that it got. It certainly deserved to take the first set. That is genius. And Portugal find themselves 1 set to love in the lead over the Norwegians. We'll take a short break there. We'll be back with the whole of the second set live. Don't go away.
Baby, there's something about you that I can't hold on to. I'm gonna hold on to this. Baby, there's something about you that I can't hold on to. I'm gonna hold on to this. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming, yeah. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming.
Welcome back to Rio Copacabana Beach and live action from the round of the last 16. Norway, Kjemperud and Hoidalen versus Maia and Brehna of Portugal, and as predicted, really nothing to tell between these two teams. Both sets of statistics very, very close indeed, but the important stat at the end of that first set is that Portugal took it and they lead 1-0. Norwegians in blue making their way back onto court. Andre Kjemperud in the #1 vest. Vegard the Viking, Hoidalen in the #2 vest, and he's going to have to be at his raiding best in this second set if he's going to bring them back into this. The Norwegians took bronze medal back in 2001 at the World Championships in Klagenfurt, so they do have a pedigree at the big events. Maia and Brehna, no strangers either to finishing in the big time, 4th at the Olympic Games in '96. Two very, very closely matched teams, and if a match ever had 3 sets written over it, this one does. Wonderful scramble from Brehna to get the ball in the air for Maia. Good finish off the hands. The Portuguese, both based at Espinho, that's where they do all their training. And apart from this beach in Copacabana, the players will tell you Espinho has the deepest, toughest sand to play in. And that's possibly why Maia and Brehna feeling so much at home at the moment. Really out on court, 4 of the nicest guys you could wish to meet on the tour. I think at the moment they're all looking for a reason to get mad. At the moment they can't seem to find an end to this game in terms of aggression. They're having to build all their own momentum. But the finish to that first set by Luis Miguel Maia was something else. A one-handed pick-up off a full-blooded spike from Vegard Hoidalen. And he converted that for the point. Portuguese lead. Once again, a straightforward start to this second set. Both teams trading side-outs. It's a shot from Kjemperud onto the line. 2 points all, 24-22, so out there for a fair time in that first set. It's a missed opportunity for Portugal so far. Finally, Brehna just catching the top of Hoidalen's block for the point. Portugal lead 3-2. A little bit lucky to get away with that one. Acrobatic defense from Kjemperud. Portuguese hung in there to take the point. Now Luis Miguel Maia. There's the power. Nice work, Hoidalen. He's the taller of the two Norwegian players, but he does tend to receive most of the serves. I think he has a slightly less complex game in terms of his offence. Hoidalen very much a big cross-court hitter, and if you can shut that down, then he struggles sometimes to find rhythm elsewhere in his game. Another service error from Norway, lead maintained by Portugal, 4-3. First change of ends, they change on multiples of 7 points. Not a massive amount of advantage in this stadium either end. As with most of the big stadiums, the wind not much of a factor. And when there's a crowd in, then they do tend to cause a windbreak, and down there on centre court, the temperature is stifling. Good blocking. Brehna just finds the line in back court. Moment, out of the 4 players, it's Hoidalen that's having the worst of it. So a little early break for Maia and Brehna. They lead 5-3. Great set from Kjemperud. The refs don't solely use the rotation of the ball as a judgment after the set, but once the players have used their hands for the volley, if the ball does rotate excessively, it's an indication that there's been a double touch. But the players here at this World Championships, most of the setters, when they've played the ball will be almost still in the air. As the Americans say, you should be able to read the maker's name. If you can, it's a clean set. Great up from Kjemperud. And as a defender myself, this is such a privilege to be watching Kjemperud and Maia in operation in this match. Hoidalen and Brehna won't claim to be the world's leading blockers. They do a great job at the net. They're not in the same class as Ricardo, Jeff Nygaard. Good swing. There's a bit of that heat from Maia. I said he was a pocket dynamo. Easily one of the hardest hitters on the beach court. And the power that he gets cross court, Kjemperud does extremely well to touch that. Now, I mentioned Ricardo there, the world's best blocker, without a doubt. He with Brazilian partner Manuel, the favourites for this competition. And indeed, if they win in the round of 16 today, then Ricardo and Emmanuel will be crowned World Tour champions for 2003. And will, in one step, become the new favourites for Olympic gold in Athens. Something Emmanuel desperately wants. Ricardo already has that silver medal in the bag from the Sydney Olympics. Now, some controversy here over this shot. Just caught the outside of the line, but Hoidalen's going to slow the game down. Been the player's rep now for years as Hoidalen quite clearly hit the line. He knows it as well. But he'll be indulging in a little bit of discussion, I'm sure, just trying to fire himself up. Another cross-court swing from Hoidalen. Really is the favoured shot for the Viking. Hoidalen's been a full-time professional now, beach volleyball, since 1996. Left his job as a special needs teacher in Norway, but often talks about returning to that when the playing time is over. He might have an opportunity to return to it a little bit sooner than he hoped. Things not going too well for Norway at the moment. Kjemperud straight into the net. Brehna still lead by 1 point. Little look from Hoidalen, but it didn't do him any good. Brehna has missed. Well, he wants a touch called on Hoidalen. No, it's not that. It's actually a big argument about the volley, I think, or no, a touch on the net. That's what it is. Where Hoidalen collapsed under the net, he feels that he was interfered with or the net was touched, one of the two. And you can go under the net. There is no centre line in beach volleyball, but you can only go under the net providing you don't impede the movement of your opposition player. And I think Brehna quite clearly felt that on the previous part of the rally, Hoidalen collapsed into him. The second official agreed. The first official said, no thanks, I don't want to entertain that argument. And in a supreme sporting gesture, Hoidalen smacks another one in the net, and the Norwegian serving has been poor this afternoon. The entrance to this fantastic bay. Some spectacular scenery, and literally is hundreds, sometimes thousands of metres from this centre court stadium. Good finish by Hoidalen. This time straight through the arms of Brehna. 9 points all. Portuguese in red lead by 1-0. There's the block. How high did Hoidalen get out of the sand then? Well, he found a jump from somewhere, and he really got airborne, and look at the enormous net touch. Not spotted by the referees, and Hoidalen gets away with it and gets a point for his team. 10-9. Little call of linea from Brehna. Line. Maia ignores him. I know, I'll hit it really hard cross-court. He's been doing that all game. It's been working for him. And really, until you're blocked consistently or picked up consistently on an angle, there's no need to change it. 10-all. And it's service errors for both teams at the moment. They're slowing up the scoring opportunities, and I think the service errors are coming because both teams deciding that that's the ideal opportunity to create the pressure, and they're just pushing a little hard from the back line. The players will look to ingest a couple of litres of fluid before they get out onto the court. They don't want to drink it straight away or just close to the match. They try and drink it over a period of time, but you've got to feel like your stomach's full when you go on there if you're going to survive matches in this heat. They'll also eaten some food with it to try and make sure that the absorption of the water is more effective. And then when they actually get out onto court, the idea for the water intake is little and often. Middle of the day here in Rio, the beach filling up. And just behind that row of sunbathers, sorry, that you can see there, all the way along, for as far as the eye can see, is volleyball nets. Hundreds and hundreds of volleyball nets. And they play foot volley and beach volley on there from around about 4 o'clock in the morning. It gets light very early here in Rio. And a lot of people come down to the beach. Thousands come down to the beach to get a game of beach volleyball or foot volley, a dip in the ocean before they head off into the city to work. Norwegian crowd once again pick up the volume, and once again the team in blue has a slight advantage. 11-10. Good block. Hoidalen converts that to 12-10. Well, the popularity of beach volleyball in Norway really started by Kvalheim and Masid, the tour leaders back in the early 90s. And that's why Hoidalen and Kjemperud took up the sport. Now they have their own World Tour event in Stavanger, in the south of Norway, in It's a World Tour event that Kjemperud particularly enjoys because he lives exactly 4 minutes away from the court. We walked it with him once from his front door to the centre court. He stopped to talk to a few people on the way and it took 4 minutes. Slightly longer journey for him to get to Rio, but it's been worth it so far. They've made the last 16. They will desperately want to go one better, but at the moment Portugal proving very dangerous. 2-point cushion now for Norway. Nice up. Again, poor setting, and this has been a problem for Maia all afternoon. Brehna's transition sets, getting the ball into the air for him to attack, have been bad. And on that occasion, just a free hit gifted to Kjemperud. Cushion increased to 3 points. Well, that was classic stuff. Kjemperud with a great read, lays it out on the sand for the pickup, and then has the presence of mind not to just lash out at the ball. Looks for the space, rolls it away from Maia's defence. And we said at the top of this second set, didn't we, that this had the look of a three-setter about it. Oh, massive shot. How does he do it? The angles that Luis Miguel Maia manages to find, the power that he exerts on the ball. Great example to all of us. And the wee man puts another one away. Now, they were 4 points down, Portugal, in the first set, around about this stage. But some good blocking and some good defence brought them back into contention. Hasn't happened straight away on this occasion. Still that 4-point advantage, 16-12 to the team in blue. Both teams now just slowing their rhythm slightly, again, an indication of the heat. Great block. Oh, Maia off of the hands of Hoidalen into the face of Brehna. And his partner won't be thanking him for that one. But could Brehna have picked this ball up? As it comes back off the block of Hoidalen, well, it hits him pretty fast in the hat, but I think that Brehna was just watching things there. He wasn't involved in that rally as much as he should have been. And it's given another chance to Norway. Easy shot, Kjemperud off Brehna's hands. And the way the Portuguese look at the moment, the body language seems to suggest that they've let this second set go, and they will be channeling their actions into set number 3, the tiebreaker. 6 points now, the advantage for Norway. Clever rainbow from Maia. Saw Kjemperud sneaking in onto that angle, realised the deep corner was open, so just lobbed it over his head. Legitimate off-pace shot from Portugal. They've got to get that service sorted out before they go into the tiebreaker set. Bit of relief there from Hoidalen. You don't usually see him celebrate that much. He's usually a little more cool about the easy points. But the pressure is clearly on. And this time Maia with the swing cross-court, and he misses. So at the moment, Norway have got everything right. Portugal giving up the easy errors. Set point, chance to go 1-1 for Norway. And that's not very clever from Portugal. And the set's over, 21 points to 12, and Norway have breezed through it. We're going to be going into a third and deciding set to 15 points. And at the moment, you would have to say that Kjemperud and Hoidalen in the blue vests from Norway are looking in much better shape than the Portuguese. And this is such a familiar sight in beach volleyball. The team that goes 1-0 in the lead takes the foot off the gas and can't get themselves back in. Again, the statistics very, very close indeed, but that blocking stat 6-3 in favour of Kjemperud and Hoidalen. That's the difference between the two teams. Most of those blocks coming from Hoidalen at a crucial stage in the second set. And it built up a big cushion. Well, plenty of Brazilian fans in. They'll be hoping to see another Brazilian team through to a final. The Women's Championships on Eurosport earlier this month resulted in a USA-Brazil final. USA not the most popular nation here on this centre court at the moment, but Walsh and May able to defeat Bahar and Shelder to take the gold medal at this championship. So silver, the best Brazil could take. Will they go better in the men's? So good atmosphere building up in this stadium here in Copacabana. The Brazilians dominant and supporting Portugal. But about 50 Norwegian fans right in the centre making the noise. And these are some of the wonderful views close to this stadium. The beach just at the bottom of your picture runs all the way round this big Atlantic bay. Copacabana Beach goes all the way along and then moves up into the mountains, into the exclusive area of Ipanema. And we're here at what many people refer to as the spiritual home of the Beach Volleyball World Championships, 1987. That's when it all started. St. John Smith and Randy Stockless beating Pat Powers and Karch Karai to win a share of the $22,000 prize purse back in '87. One of 5 world championships that the legendary US pairing managed to pick up. And what a great start to this match in the third set. Really good stuff from both teams, but that's going to be a horribly draining rally. It always feels a bit better when you've won. Doesn't mean you don't feel sick at the end of a big one like this, but if you've lost the rally, then you feel terrible. And the best efforts of Maia and Brehna, not enough to stop the first point going the way of Norway. 15 points then the target in this third set. Still rally scoring. Nice shot. Effectively down the line from Maia, hitting across his body. Levels it at 1-1. Desperately important that Brehna puts this serve in. Does, takes the gas off a little, just to make sure that one went in. And the problem there was that Norway could control the ball relatively easily, and Kjemperud, with a little help from the net, just puts that one down the line. Maia defeated by the lack of pace on that shot. 2-1 Norway. Exactly the same play. Maia isn't passing too well, and Brehna's being forced to make reverse sets all the time, and he's doing a pretty good job of it. And Maia again, cross his body. Looks like it's cross court, but really in effect down the line. And 2 times out of 2, Kjemperud not able to make the play. Good serve from Maia. And a beautiful finish. Very difficult to describe just how hard it is to hit that ball coming across your body. And Hoidalen, after a wonderful set from Kjemperud to that position, does it perfectly. Really fixed himself in the air, got a good swing round with the shoulder, right over the top of the ball. 3-2, change of ends every 5 points in the third set. The decider between these two teams for the chance to go through to the quarterfinals of the Swatch FIVB World Beach Volleyball Championships here on the Copacabana beach in Rio. Again, Maia passes very tight to that aerial, and it looks like that's more of a tactic than anything. Opens the court right up and hits the cutest of angles back across court. 3-3. Which team will be first to make some sort of move in this tiebreaker set? Well, it's going to be Portugal. And the first score with the service goes to the block of Brehna. Hoidalen tries to stroke the hair back, keep it cool, but he'll be worried about that. Brehna's got hands to him a few times in this match, and they serve him again. Great up, still in play. That's a beautiful shot. And the big shout from Maia. And Portugal have decided to make their move. Lazy from Hoidalen. He'll be so annoyed with himself because he could have played that with two arms. He'd have kept that ball in play. But you can't take away from Maia's defensive dig. Sprinted right to the corner. Fell flat on the sand to get an arm on the ball. And then got himself up into the net to make the play. 5-3 Portugal. He's done it again. But this time Hoidalen makes the effort on the dig. Oh, great stuff. And Vega, the Viking, really pushing hard in that rally. Wrong-handed pickup from Maia. How on earth did he get that in play? But not up to it on the cross-court shot from Hoidalen, which in effect looked like the easier defensive play. But I think Hoidalen is suffering a little bit. He's taking a long time before he hits this serve. Now the referee's going to make him play it soon. I think one of the Portuguese players just taking a bit of time to get some sand off him. You can take what's called a sand timeout. That's legitimate. And the way Maia throws himself around the court, he's very often got glasses covered in sand, ears full of sand. It's good to get yourself cleaned off before you play the next point. Great swing. Well, Maia took the time to get dusted down. And then he dusts it up. What a shot from him. And the Norwegians just switching up to that blocking play there. 6-4, next change of ends. And that's an indication that Hoidalen's tired because he's asking Kjemperud to block at the net now. And with the best will in the world, Kjemperud is not a blocker. He does make some blocks now and again when he's forced to, but the best combination is Hoidalen front court, Kjemperud back court. Good finish, Hoidalen. Took it nice and high. They trail Portugal by 1 point now. Norwegians, the team in blue, good high contact point off of the hands of the Portuguese block. Brehna is stopped, but it's a net touch. And the blocking arm of Hoidalen just onto the net band, and it would have been a point to Norway if it hadn't been for that error. But I'm afraid Hoidalen's form in the air affected by the fact that after an hour out here in these temperatures, he's getting pretty tired. And maybe a spell of sunbathing on the beach will be in order by the end of this match for the Norwegians, because at the moment they look like they're heading out, and it's in. Ball is in from Brehna. Portugal now open up a 3-point lead. Could be a decisive one in this tiebreaker set to 15. Great hands from Brehna. And Maia tells him, "You're the man." Any defender will be happy with his blocker doing that, because it means less running for you in the back court. Quick, easy point for Portugal. Hoidalen gets the serve again. And he swings hard down the front of Brehna's block. Not convincing, but good enough. Brehna there missing a golden opportunity. Great swing, cross-court, Maia. You can just tell the difference, can't you? The pace that he puts on the ball in comparison to the other players. You can see him go up, you can see him swing, but sometimes you lose sight of the ball. In slow motion, it's quick enough, but how high does he get off that sand? Using all of his jump. 7-6 then. Portugal in a position where they just have to keep siding out. The whole of the responsibility for getting back into this game lies with Norway. They have to make something happen, and they have to do it soon. Vegard Hoidalen just taking time to clean the sand off his glasses, which he's allowed to do. As long as they don't do it too much and don't push it too much with the ref, they can take time to make sure all the playing equipment is clean and ready to go. Oh, nearly did it again. The punch straight back over the net. Hoidalen getting enough heat on this shot. 9-7, so we need to see one of those big aces or two of those big aces from Kjemperud. Well, it's a definite policy from Maia and Brehna to set behind. It's messing up the defence. Hoidalen once again drifts into the net with his block. And he's so angry with himself. Just wants to rip that shirt off and throw it away. And he is tired. Well, they need to get something from somewhere to the Norwegians. 10-7 now. Great up. Massive effort from Maia again. Got to take your hat off to him. He's just tremendous to watch. Most of us wouldn't dream of getting anywhere near that. He was nearly set up for the play by the time he arrived. Hoidalen had to hit that very hard to get it past him. 2 points the deficit. Terrific line shot. And at the moment, Luis Miguel Barbosa Maia putting on a masterclass of side-out play. Variation of pace and direction. Hoidalen doesn't know what to do at the net. Kjemperud hasn't touched a defensive ball for ages. 11 points to 8. Last big shout from the Norwegian crowd to try and get this #1 Norwegian team going again. But it's looking pretty grim for them. Has to go over, but he's missed it. The block counts as a touch on the beach. Doesn't count as a touch indoors. Brehna did everything right there, but Maia just overcooked it over the baseline, and you can see the little shake of hands between the players as they come through the net. The respect between these two teams, between these four really nice guys, is evident out there on court. Kjemperud into the net. That was almost Norway's last chance, I would say. Hoidalen's serve these days not up to a good run of aces. Next time Kjemperud comes round to serve, it might all be too late. Vegard cross court, but it's picked up by Maia. Good patience from Norway. Oh, lovely stuff from Kjemperud. That's the way to do it. When you're out on your feet, you want your partner there telling you you're the best. That's why these two teams have stayed together for so long over the years. It just works for them. The chemistry's good out on court. 12-10, Portugal still lead. Oh, such a good effort from Hoidalen, but it's out over the baseline. Maia with another terrific thumping shot. And I wonder if this is cramped for Hoidalen, because he's down at the moment. When you land off those blocks, he's landed on one leg. Sometimes it goes, but I think it was just frustration. The three-point cushion for Portugal still there. Norway can't close that gap at all. Nice finish. So they have managed to go round on side outs to Kjemperud's serve. What will he do? He knows that his partner, Hoidalen, with the signals, the blocking signals at the net, is tired. He decides to float serve. Well, no pressure on the Portuguese at all. Maia able to pass. Again, that reverse set, a definite tactic from Portugal. He bounces it off of Hoidalen's failing block and out of court. 3 match points to the Portuguese. And the Norwegian shouts, as with the Norwegian effort on court, is gradually waning. Good swing, it's out though. And on the deep sand of Copacabana Beach, Maia and Brehna are putting together a really good run of beach volleyball, and they've disposed of the 2001 bronze medalists from the World Championships. Norwegians Hoidalen and Kjemperud are going home. Well, some debate over whether that was a touch from Maia and Brehna, but no continuing argument. Let's watch FIVB Men's Beach Volleyball World Championships, returning to the site of the first ever FIVB World Championships back in 1987. Now, first up, we've got an intriguing battle. Norwegian Kjemperud and Hoidalen up against the Portuguese team of Maia and Brehna. And 2 very evenly matched teams indeed. We're watching live here on Eurosport 2 of the most experienced sides on this World Tour. The Portuguese in the red, playing from left to right. Brehna there, hitting the ball, number 2 shirt, slightly taller of the 2 players. Norway not able to make the defence on this occasion. And Brehna's partner is Luis Miguel Barbosa Maia. Sounds like a boxer's name, doesn't it? But Maia punches well above his weight. There he is in the number 1 vest. He's actually the smallest beach volleyball player on the World Tour at just 1.80 metres, 5'9" tall, but he is a wicked hitter, a pocket dynamo. The Norwegians are going to have to watch themselves today. Well, Norway playing from right to left in blue. Vegard the Viking, Hoidalen, distinctive with that blonde flowing hair sticking out of the bottom of his cap. Playing in the number 2 vest. And in the number 1 vest, his partner, Jori Andres Kjemperud. 35 years old now, Kjemperud. Very much the swan song of his career. They've both stated that their 2 goals for this season, World Championship medal and then qualification through to the Olympics. And many people feel that this will possibly be their last season. And the Olympics indeed will be the close to what has been a terrific beach volleyball career. The Norwegians have now been together since 1995, and they've stuck exclusively with each other as a team. They've only ever played apart when one or the other has been injured. Almost exactly the same stats for the Portuguese. Maia and Brehna now been together since 1994. Both the teams have won only once on the World Tour in their careers, and both of them winning tournaments back in 1998. But mixed fortunes this year for the Portuguese. They're currently ranked 18th on the tour. Their best finish 5th in Marseille this year. But they've really done nowhere near as well as they have in the past. Remember the Portuguese getting to the semi-finals in the 1996 Olympic Games, eventually walking away with the cruelest placing of all, 4th, losing out in that bronze medal playoff to Canadians Child and Heese. Going slightly better for the Vikings. They're ranked 10th at the moment, and they've managed a couple of finals this year, 1 satellite tournament and then 1 World Tour event. Actually getting to the final in Espino, which is the home beach for Maia and Brehna. There he is, Luis Miguel Maia. As we said, a really small player, but such a huge jump on him. Contacts the ball at 3 metres and 13 in the air when he jumps off the sand. Really does have a powerful physique. But it's not his attacking that's impressive, it's the defence of Maia that can sometimes be the difference between teams, but no problems on that occasion for Vegard the Viking Hoidalen. Big swing from the 32-year-old, nice and deep onto the baseline, makes that very tough for defenders.